So good morning, YouTube. I want to make a quick video this morning because I saw a video from another user who's learning languages. He's very interested in multiple languages, and he's been working on an FSI level 4 language for a while, which means that it takes a long time to learn the language. FSI, which I'm going to add the FSI rankings in the section below. FSI has created 5 different rankings where, just to give a rough estimate, it's obviously not accurate for everyone, it's not like a perfect hard set rules, but it's a generalization that you need. There's level 1, which is the lowest amount of hours it takes to get to a level of basic fluency in a language. Level 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 and 5 are the 2 levels that are obviously the most difficult. The only ones at level 5, I think they put Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Arabic, one other I think that I'm missing. And then level 4 is most Slavic languages like other Indo-European languages that are far from English, some other Vietnamese I think they throw on there for some reason, Thai. So anyways, they have a system where they have these languages. And so this individual has been learning one of these level 4 languages for a long time, but states that he feels like it's frustrating. He's putting more effort into the language than he's getting out of it. And so I see this a lot, and I hear this a lot, and I've also felt this because I've learned Russian, and now currently I'm not really focusing super in-depth on it, but I am learning a little bit of Chinese every day and working on it whenever I have time. And so I relate, I can understand. It's something that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, is this frustration that one feels when they're learning a difficult language. And that's what I think is a great thing about language classes. Everyone, it seems like in these YouTube videos and talking about YouTube languages, are quick to say about how great independent learning is. And we're always talking about independent learning, but when approaching one of these languages that takes so much extra time, where the language is so different, I actually am going to argue for classes, because the advantage of the classes is you can't quit. You pay the money, even when you hit that feeling that I felt. I remember when I was learning Russian, there was a point I felt like I'm just not remembering things. I keep on more and more information, and I feel like I'm not making any progress, and I'm working so hard. Whereas when I learned Spanish before that, after having learned French, of course, I learned Spanish. Every single day was exciting because I kept on retaining new information and learning more things, and I was getting into interesting content. And it just wasn't happening with Russian. Russian was such a slower process, and I was hit this middle point that was really hard to push through. And taking classes means that I was doing it, one, with a group of people together. So I wasn't alone, and I could see my progresses with others, and I could see what the other people were doing, and we were all learning it together. So that was actually helpful. And 2, you just have to show up every day. So from that standpoint, I think taking language classes is a fantastic idea. If you've already learned a language, no, you don't need to take classes to learn, if you're an English speaker natively, other Western European languages. Most of them, if you've already learned one language, you can figure out languages that are somewhat similar to English. But if you're, for the first time, taking on a more difficult language, like, say, Arabic, Russian, Hebrew, whatever it be, you might want to seriously consider taking a class. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I want to do is encourage those who are learning it independently, that feeling of not making any progress, of putting in all this work but not getting anything out of it, is normal, and you may not feel like you're making progress for a long period of time, but you really are slowly solidifying the vocabulary, the expressions, the grammar into your brain. It's just going to take a long time. And if you quit now, you're going to lose a little bit, backtrack, and you're going to eventually hit the same point again, and I think it's just not very efficient. So instead of quitting, my advice to you would be, if you're a little bit tired of it, you want to focus a little more on another language, keep doing a little bit of Russian regardless. Don't drop it. Finish whatever book you started, even if you feel like it's useless. Just keep reading through it slowly, finish all the lessons in that book. And then after that, I feel like you will actually make progress and you will push through this point with time. So that's kind of what applies to any very difficult language. Buy a single book, and make sure you finish that series. I see a lot of people buying a bunch of different series, do a little bit from this one, oh, this one isn't working for me, then they buy another one, I don't like this method. I'd say, yes, it's good to try to find a good series, something that you like, something that will teach you, but my key advice is to just actually finish one of them, because that's the only way you're going to get past those basic expressions that are at the first few chapters of every single book. Is you just have to get through one of them, get this basic vocabulary, and then you can start launching into more native and authentic material. So that's all for today, and I'll talk to you later.